about that. Scientology's numbers are shrinking, and your ideal orbs are not getting built. Why is that? Why is more and more money being given to the ideal orbs, and they aren't finished?
Well, why don't they just fund retirement and health care for the people who are dedicated staff and Scientologists?
I mean, can you imagine you sign a billion-year contract and you don't get health insurance? That's really lousy. That's really lousy. Even the Catholic Church provides health insurance for its monks and nuns and priests. And here's the Sea Org who works so freaking hard, day in and day out, night after night. And they don't get health insurance. They are actually having to go on taxpayer dime. You pay taxes. Those people, it's your money. Shouldn't this organization, which has billions of dollars, look after the most dedicated workers, the ones who give their lives? Some of them.
Speaking of OTs and OT powers, there's OT all over this building. Have you ever seen an OT power being demonstrated, ever?
Why don't you speak, Jeff, instead of hiding behind the camera?
Why won't you confront me?
You're not.
I'm about as suppressive as you get. What? If Scientology worked, you would be able to convince me. But you can't even try. Because you're not trained for this. Nobody is.
Hubbard said that if you had the TRs, you could communicate with anyone at any time about anything and have an effective communication. That involves an originator, and it involves confirmation and acknowledgement. It involves a cycle of communication.
You can't stand out here and act like we don't know what we're talking about, like we're just a bunch of crazy kids. You know better. You know better.
If we were, it wouldn't be reflecting in your stats.
Go home. John doesn't come out here anymore. Why? Is his family more important to him than this? Is yours?
Even Isaac Hayes apparently left nothing to the church. I bet that was surprising because supposedly blah, blah, blah. But in the end, he made his choice.
How long are you going to stay out here? How long are you going to stay out here next week? How long are you going to keep doing what they tell you to without asking any questions? Do you ask questions? What happens when you do? Ask me anything you want. Call your wife and ask her. Ask her if this is right. How you doing tonight, sir? Have you been to whyweprotest.net? I'm glad to hear it. Have I ever?
And that's like, those are the most sacred and valuable things. That's the most important bond you can have. And you need to acknowledge that and accept it and embrace it. What kind of bond do you have with us? We see you once, twice a month. You hang out with us, you videotape us. We know your name, you know ours. We actually care about you and your welfare and your happiness. And also those of the other people within Scientology who are being abused by management's principles. And that's what you guys have a hard time getting through your heads, is that we actually really care about you.
If I didn't actually care, I wouldn't spend this much time. I wouldn't sit here and try to talk to you like this. I would just sit here and make fun of you. I would call your house. I would blah, 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 be a retard.
Neighborhood.
Yeah. Like, I so could have gone and exactly done what you did to me. Come out with a little camera crew and tried to flyer your neighborhood, but I didn't do that. You know why? Because it's not right. And I think you know that.
And you know what, Tom? Guys came to my neighborhood, flyered my neighbors, flyered me. And I talked people out of going and picketing at different construction companies where your members work. Because that's not right. We're
better than that.
We're better than that, and you know what? So are you. And so are most Scientologists. That's why Scientologists deny that that happens, because they can't believe that a member of their organization would do something like that. Yet there's proof of it. I have photos of the guys. Guy with the Band-Aid on his nose and his buddy who's slightly taller. Both of them were really tan, and felt bad for the guy with the Band-Aid on his nose. It was really apparent it was melanoma from his skin texture. And there they were, flyering my neighborhood. You know? And they said, we're doing it for the church. We're doing it for our church. Wow.
I don't know any church that does that, though. Any religion that does that.
No.
Except the West Baptist. The West Farrow Baptist.
Yeah. But you know what it did, actually, my neighborhood...
Do you really want to be compared to the West Farrow Baptist Church? Those psycho racists? Yeah, I had, on one day, somebody come to my place, my mother's place, my father's place, and my grandmother's place. To tell them that I was a terrorist.
And all it does is make the church...
You really think that they're going to listen to you?
All it does is make the church look crazy. My neighbors were like, who are these nuts who did this? I said, well, you know, I protest Scientology, and a couple of them went, you do? Well, good for you. And others were like, why? And I explained to them why. Hi, Tree. And, you know, it did not make the church look good. It didn't make them look like the most ethical people on earth. It made the Church of Scientology look like a bunch of paranoid nutbags. And I don't think that's really how you want to be represented. Reinforcement?
Come on, Jeffrey.
Bye-bye.
I wanted to talk to you about this vote. Apparently they wanted to speak.
I hope it was like, honey, I'm coming home. This is ridiculous. You know? I hope that phone call was, honey, I'm coming home. This is a total jag off. Let's drop out of this church.
It's easy 'cause you're beautiful. Still the love in you. And la 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 la. Doo 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 doo.